My name is Aaron Chubb. I'm the Learning Strategist at the Student Success Center. This was our second last Live and Learn of the semester, so a weekly information session on different study tips for students. Today we're talking about test anxiety. So I think that's something a lot of people have dealt with, just the anxiety going into a test, and especially when that anxiety gets in the way of your thinking, so when it's actually blocking that thinking when you're going blank. So we talked about some of the tips to overcome that. So I spoke to the study skills component, and we had Margaret Miles from the Health Center, and she's a behaviorist there, and she was talking about some of the coping strategies that students can do as well. So for my part, I talked about just how good study skills can make a huge difference, preparing in advance for the test, going over sample test questions, studying with a friend and testing each other, teaching each other. I think a lot of people who have test anxiety, it's because they're not prepared for the exam. So rather than cramming it in all for 7 hours the day before, getting in 1 hour a day for 7 days is much more effective. So just spreading out that studying and making sure that you're self-testing yourself. You wouldn't prepare for a big soccer game by reading a textbook. There might be some reading involved, but really you're practicing the kind of maneuvers that you're going to be making on the field. So same thing with the test. You have a multiple choice test coming up, practice taking multiple choice tests in that area. Margaret talked a lot about some of the coping strategies and one's own belief system going to the exam, so making sure that you're not psyching yourself out, telling yourself that the exam is insurmountable, that you're building it up as too big of a deal than it actually is. The test is not a tiger that's just going to harm you, but when we get really anxious about something, the same flight or fight or freeze mechanisms come about. But yeah, the test isn't going to actually hurt you. So keeping things in perspective, challenging your own beliefs about the test and studying well for the test can make all the difference. The nice thing about the services we have at the school here, we have myself and another learning strategist here that can help students with the study skills so that they're getting the most out of their study time. And then we also have the behavioralist at the Health Center to talk about some of the beliefs and behaviors that students have going towards an exam. We also have counseling services as well, so talking about the anxiety that students have. Get a good night's sleep before that exam, study a little bit each night leading up to it, and you'll do fine.